Good morning, everyone, and welcome back again to Concerned Citizens Media. I have some news to share with you, and I have only one video at the end of the news. Here are the news and Concerned Citizens Media comment for December 23, 2020. Mr. Getachew Reda, former EPRDF and TPLF senior official, tweeted today from undisclosed location. Mr. Getachew claimed in his tweet that the enemy has lost an Air Force gunship in Beit Mara, and the fighting continues in many fronts. Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki have been exposing thousands and thousands of Ethiopians and Eritreans as a cannon fodders, like you are feeding animals, He ended his tweets by saying, Tigray shall prevail. Mr. Getachew Reda's victory claims and the authenticity of his tweet is not yet independently verified. The international media still do not have access to the Tigray region due to Abiy Ahmed's restriction on domestic and global media. So he said the war is going on and they shoot down military aircraft. So if this is true, it is in the contrary to what we are hearing from Ethiopian government. And as you heard from the previous DW interview with Sadiq Abraha, he said Ethiopia the central government controls every part of Tigray. So this is contradictory to that view. So Mr. Getachew said the war is still going on. They are still shooting down the airplane, but no independent verification because still restriction on the media. Abiy Ahmed landed in Metekel in Benishangul Gumuz region to warn, advise, and threaten the residents of the region. Mr. Abiy Ahmed warned that the external forces are arming, training, organizing, and financing the groups, spoiling the peace and the stability of region and beyond. He said that we must not be divided by religion, politics, ethnicity, and others, and open the door for enemies who want to harm or threaten Ethiopia's existence. He didn't mention who these external forces are. He advised the Metekel residents to solve their difference peacefully and through dialogue. He said, we are all Ethiopians, and if we want to remain Ethiopians, our unity and collective efforts and dedications are very essential. He said, Italy stayed and ruled Ethiopia for 5 years because some of Ethiopians sided with Italy against their own country. We must not repeat that history again in this country. Mr. Abiy Ahmed also warned the Metekel residents that law and order operation might be applied in the same way as the Tigray region if these ongoing attacks do not stop immediately, Ethiopia is crumbling slowly into chaos under Mr. Abiy Ahmed's leadership. There is no peace, no stability, no law and order in Oromia, Benishangul Gumuz, Tigray, Walaita, and other regions. Plus, Sudan is expanding territorial control deep into Ethiopia. If Abiy Ahmed does not hold reconciliation and meaningful dialogue with all stakeholders in the country, Yugoslavia-style conflict is fast approaching. Abiy Ahmed must also consider resigning his post and give to others who believe in dialogue and reconciliation instead of depending on federal police, the military, undercover operatives, and the broken justice system for all citizens' legitimate concerns. In addition, Abiy Ahmed lost the credibility to lead Ethiopians into democratic paths. He betrayed broken money promises and also engaged in repeated lies about the challenges the country is facing under his rule. So, he is unfit and incapable of saving the country from the current existential threat. Ethiopians must demand for his immediate resignation before the country is heading into further catastrophe. So this is the news plus concerned citizens media. He is unfit. The country is crumbling into pieces, instability, and conflict between citizens are rising in that country. So he tried to say the country is on the right track. He tried to say is he's tried to show he's ruling the country, but not. Today he is in Metekel with his all senior military officers, plus all these the peace lady and others. They just there to threaten the residents. Stop this. And if not, we are coming with a big military like in Tigray. And one of the residents on that discussion recorded in the Habesha video clearly put it in such a way that all the problems, all the instability, the killings, the beheadings is caused by Amara militia, even the Amara region, plus the Fano, also the instigation by Isat media. So he blamed for most of the instabilities in a Benishangul region is he blamed the Amara region, and he even called some senior military officials like junta. So he is the guy living there. He's a senior guy explaining to Abiy Ahmed the problems and how to solve the problems. So he mentioned the big problem is the Amara region and the Amara militia, and he said they are sending thousands people to Metekel area to change the demography of the demographic makeup of the Metekel region. he's exposing many things. So if you are interested to listen to this video recording, it is on today's on the Habesha media. So that is a comment. I think it's better for Abiy Ahmed to resign. He is not handling. He is unfit. There's too much bloodshed everywhere. Citizens are suffering, you know, beyond control. So he think he's controlling it, but no. Ethiopian election board disqualified Mr. Lidatu Ayalew's Ethiopia Democratic Party, or EDP, and 26 other parties from competing the upcoming election. Oromo Liberation Front was ordered to hold conference with its members to fulfill the election board's requirement and settle the issues the organization has with its leadership and claims. Some of the parties disqualified from the upcoming election and the recognition are Oromo Abo Liberation Front, United Oromo and the Democracy Party, and Oromo Democratic Union Party. These are some of the 26. Oromo Liberation Front and Oromo Federalist Congress have repeatedly expressed their desire to boycott the upcoming election if their political leaders and the members are not freed from the Ethiopian jails. Plus, their local and regional offices are not open without, if not open without precondition. So, the fate of the TPLF party is still under discussion, according to this report. The Ethiopian Election Board never requested or demanded the Abiy Ahmed's Prosperity Party to hold conference. This is very serious. I repeat this one. The Ethiopian Election Board never requested or demanded the Abiy Ahmed's Prosperity Party to hold conference. So the board requested OLF to conduct the conference to fulfill the requirement, as we are aware that Prosperity Party never had conference, and so this is like unfairness and favoritism are already exposing the credibility and fairness of the election board in managing the upcoming election challenges and outcomes. These are a warning. What kind of election board we have in Ethiopia? Is it fair for whether you are in government or whether you are not, whether the parties in the government or not? The election board should have the same requirement for all parties. So Mrs. Burtukan Mideksa, maybe she's doing favor for Prosperity Party, all these old Opidio and Southern region parties and the Amara, all these are old parties, but they changed their names, and now they are getting excused from Mrs. Burtukan Mideksa. So if it's a requirement to hold conference, PP must also be required to have conference. No favoritism, because she may scare, he may arrest her, or he may remove her from there. So everybody is scared of this guy. President Donald Trump disagreed with the Congress 600 individual COVID-19 stimulus relief. In a video released on Twitter, President Trump said, "I am asking Congress to amend this bill and increase the ridiculously low $600 to $2,000 or $4,000 per couple. I am also asking Congress to immediately get rid of the wasteful and unnecessary items in this legislation or to send me a suitable bill." Trump's message appeared to be greeted favorably by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who tweeted, At last, the president has agreed to 2,000. Democrats are ready to bring this to the floor this week by unanimous consent," she said. "Let's do it." The president deserves some appreciation for understanding how Americans are devastated by COVID-19 and about the desperately needed direct stimulus. So the last one is the concerned citizens comment. Yes, he should be appreciated. It's too low, 600, too low. At least it should be just like the first stimulus package, like 1,200 individually and 2,400 per family, because people are suffering and there's high unemployment. So President Donald Trump deserves credit for raising this issue. Governor Gavin Newsom appointed California Secretary of State Alex Padilla to fill Vice President-elect Kamala Harris' Senate seat. On Tuesday, choosing the first Latino in state history for the role. I cannot think of no one better to represent the state of California as our next United States Senator, Newsom tweeted. Alex Padilla, 47, accepted the appointment with joy and confidence to serve. Credit CNN. Attorney General William Barr rejected another President Donald Trump's attempt to establish special counsel to investigate election fraud and Biden's son, Hunter Biden. If I thought a special counsel at this stage was a right tool and was appropriate, I would name one, but I haven't and I'm not going to, William Barr said in response to a question on the presidential election. He said that widespread fraud was not found in this election. Barr also roundly rejected suggestions from the president's supporters in recent days who have called for the U.S. government to seize voting machines. I see no basis for seizure of voting machines by the government, Barr said on Monday. President Donald Trump is turning every stone to illegally throw out citizens' legitimate votes and to hold on the White House. All his attempts were unsuccessful, thanks to America's strong legal foundations. Concerned citizens' media again encouraged the president and his entire cabinet to vacate the offices for upcoming administration with respect and dignity. Conceding to the election's defeat will also preserve the tradition already in practice for many, many decades in American politics. So that's all I have for the reading part. I have only one video for today. Let's see it and conclude today's presentation. This is from United Nations Human Rights Commission. Michelle Bachelet, she is the commissioner for Office of Human Rights, or OHCHR. Let's listen to her.
Rights concerns concern the fact that we have received consistent information pointing to violations of international humanitarian law and human rights law by all parties to the conflict. And these include artillery strikes on populated areas, the deliberate targeting of civilians, extrajudicial killings, and widespread looting. While we're not in a position to verify these reports on the ground, they do point to a failure by the parties to the conflict to protect civilians. And this is all the more concerning given that fighting is said to be continuing, particularly in some areas of north, central, and southern Tigray. Among the accounts, witnesses described artillery strikes on the town of Humera on the border with Eritrea between the 9th and the 11th of November. We interviewed several people from the town who alleged that shells launched from Eritrea had hit residential areas and the hospital. The Ethiopian army and regional Amhara forces and militia then reportedly took control of Humera, allegedly killing civilians and looting the hospital, banks, businesses, supermarkets, and private houses. Artillery strikes against the town of Adigrat in early November reportedly forced many families to flee to the mountains. They were then trapped by heavy fighting between the 20th and 24th of November, and many people were reported to have been killed. One of the most shocking incidents, as you may recall, reported to date was the alleged mass killing of several hundred people, mainly Amharans, in Metekel on the 9th of November. The High Commissioner has previously stressed that if civilians were deliberately killed by a party or parties to the conflict, these killings would amount to war crimes, and there need to be independent, impartial, thorough and transparent investigations to establish accountability and ensure justice. We urge the authorities to build on the Ethiopian Human Rights Commission's preliminary findings into what happened in Metekel. It's essential that there are investigations into allegations of human rights violations there against both Amharans and Tigrayans. While telephone lines are beginning to be restored, the communications blackout that began on the 4th of November and restrictions on access raise significant concerns that the human rights and humanitarian situation is even more dire than feared. These reported allegations are likely only to be the tip of the iceberg regarding the extent and seriousness of the violations committed by all parties to the conflict. This underscores the need, as the High Commissioner is stressing today in her press release, the need for independent human rights monitors to be given access to Tigray to adequately assess the human suffering resulting from the conflict, verify allegations, and to help ensure accountability.
Okay, that's
Hi, it's Sam Barker here from the Motley.
the human right, the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, Mrs. Michelle Bachelet. So, as you heard, is a tip of the iceberg, she say, and she is talking about Metekel and other areas where the grave human rights violations were conducted, and Ethiopia is asked repeatedly to allow independent investigations. I don't know what they scare of. It could clear even their names, you know. They are reporting it. They're talking about Metekel on the state's media repeatedly. So when the international community, the Human Rights Commission, asked them Let's get in and find out who did what. They refused, and they called, they released a statement saying, we Ethiopians don't need babysitters. It's not about babysitters. It's about finding who did what, to find the truth. Is the government? Is it the Amara? Is it the Tigrayan, TPLF? Who did that? Who did the killing of 600 plus citizens? Abiy refused, put restriction on the media, including the domestic media, even the domestic medias, his own medias, they cannot report. So yes, the maximum attention is given to Tigray conflict, but we have another conflict didn't get much attention. As I said, Metekel Gumuz area, Benishangul Gumuz area, displacement, killings, gruesome killings, beheadings, removing organs. It's extremely very bad situation also in Oromia, hanging people, throwing people after they kill them, throwing for the animals on a riverside and mountains. So it is horrible. It is horrible. That's why the concerned citizens media is asking Mr. Abiy Ahmed, please resign. You are not doing your job. People are dying under your watch. You are not settling the country. You changed the tone, you changed the tactic, you became greedy for power. You totally a different person. You are not a peacemaker. You should consider resigning immediately before too much bloodshed is spilled in that country. And the Ethiopia is really becoming a failed state. So many thousands of people are overcrowded in jails, including schools, without any justice system. This is shame, really very shame on this guy. He should resign immediately. We all should call for his resignation. He is destroying the country. No stability. Sudan is crossing the border now, far into, I don't know, 40 kilometers or more. It's a failed state. It's a failed country. He just became a bully, and he is working with this dictator guy, Eritrean president, Isaias Afwerki. I don't know what we're going to learn from this dictator. He's a killer. He's a torturer. No parliament, no term limit. Are we Ethiopians looking for something like this? That's why we are allowing Abiy to stay in power, to follow Isaiah's style. We are watching silently when people are stored in jails and schools used as in jails. Even never happened under TPLF. And the people are just snatched, and we don't know the whereabouts. Is this democracy? So it's very tough. Ethiopians must rise up, demand his removal. Really, he has to go. The country is disintegrated into pieces, becoming failed state. Citizens are killing each other. Too much gruesome killings. So the United Nations also should pay attention. What's happening in Oromia region, and Benishangul region. We appreciate they are paying attention to Tigray, which is good, but there are unreported, unaccounted killings, tortures, mass arrests, too much abuse, extremely human rights abuses in Oromia and Benishangul region. So, Ethiopians, we should wake up. We should demand justice. You know, it is not good to be silent when Oromos are attacked or when Amaras attacked. You know, this is a divide and conquer rule, because we cannot rise up, because we are each of us looking for our own benefit or advantage. That's why the leaders play on Ethiopians. So it's very serious. We have to look for the remedies. One remedy is to ask for the removal of this guy, and after that, for dialogue among all Ethiopians, among all stakeholders. How can we save this country from collapsing? How can we live in harmony, in love, without hating each other, without killing each other, without becoming enemy against each other? So we have to wake up, Ethiopians. We have to wake up, Ethiopians, and demand the removal of this guy, then for the establishment of the transitional government, for the reconciliation, for dialogue in that country. So that's all I have for today. I will be back with other videos and the news. Thank you for listening, Concerned Citizens Media. Be safe. So long, everyone.